Hello, I'm Jennifer, and welcome back to the Forest Parlor. To continue to celebrate spooky season, let's discuss the evil eye. Is there really such a thing? Is it anything more than just a mysterious threat? Can someone accidentally deal it out? And whose eye is it anyway? Let's discuss all of this and some common ways to protect yourself. This may be more unsettling than you think. The evil eye is said to be an ill-defined, malevolent force naturally present in the universe. Think of a metaphysical force unblinkingly judging you, ready to put you in your place with some misfortune. Others believe you deliver the evil eye through jealousy, envy, and hatred. Scoff if you'd like, but belief in this concept spans cultures and may even go back 10,000 years. It isn't a spell. Nothing is cast, and it may be done intentionally or accidentally. But why an eye? The evil eye is said to be a look or a stare that brings bad luck to the person it's directed at. It's as simple and scarily destructive as that. In southern Italy, there is a term called a jettatura, which describes a person who casts the evil eye all the time, every day, everywhere, and they don't even know it, so they can't even help it. And there's an old Polish folk tale of a man whose gaze was so cursed, he resorted in cutting out his own eyes rather than spread misfortune to his loved ones. So naturally, if it can be so carelessly delivered, you'd want to fortify and ward yourself against it, right? So how do you do that? For one, it is said you should avoid boasting, bragging, or calling undue attention to your good fortune. There are some very strong cultural beliefs that in order to safekeep your happiness and good fortune, you need to keep it a secret. All of it. But that might not be as easy as it sounds because you might not even know you're bragging. You can make a harmless comment about being exhausted from working too much overtime, and someone could shoot you a look because they can't find employment. As a side note, did you realize the phrase shooting a look was referring to the evil eye? It's everywhere. And if you happen to be a bride, baby, pregnant woman, or horse, you may be particularly vulnerable to the curse. But don't breathe too easy if you're a man. Are your genitals and fertility important to you? Results of the evil eye can take the form of the following: lack of energy or sadness, loss of appetite, head or body lice, excessive yawning, diarrhea, disease, hiccups, vomiting, fever, excessive biting of your own mouth, and good old-fashioned sudden disaster or death. Great. Yawning or death. This all might sound like a random, terrible list of things that could happen to anyone without any kind of supernatural explanation. So I'm going to include a personal story from someone I actually know, and she believes she was the recipient of the evil eye. I was having a normal, average day. I was on my lunch break from work when I pulled into a gas station to fill my tank. This was before debit cards at the pump, so I needed to go inside to prepay. My car was close to the entrance, between the island of gasoline pumps and the store, so it only took me a few steps to get back to my car. As I grabbed the nozzle to fill my tank, I had the distinct impression someone was there. I looked up, and on the other side of the pumps, a man was just standing there, staring at me. He was alone. No other vehicles were parked nearby, and he wasn't filling a gas can either. He just stood there, staring at me with this look of cold hatred. I immediately felt terrified, shocked that someone could be throwing so much hate at me for no reason. I tried to shrug it off. Creeps exist, and I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of scaring me, even though every instinct was screaming at me to get out of there. And then I couldn't get my gas cap off. It was just frozen in place. This was before they had locking mechanisms, so I was completely confused. And no, it wasn't winter and frozen, nor was it too hot that it might have caused it to stick. The thing just would not open. Finally, I had to give up and go back inside and get my money back from the clerk. When I came back out, the man was gone. Still feeling creeped out as if something dark was clinging to me, I got in my car and I went back to work. It weighed on me throughout the day. I couldn't stop feeling as if something was terribly wrong. Then, I started to feel sick. I had a splitting headache and I felt like I was going to throw up. I ended up asking my boss if I could go home early, and on the way home, I got a flat tire. Nothing seemed to go right. I ended up spending the rest of my day either in bed or in the bathroom. Luckily, whatever the man had thrown at me seemed to fade away while I hid in bed. The next day, I felt better, and that gas cap came off as soon as I turned it just fine. I still can't explain that either. I didn't even know what evil eye was at the time, but now every time someone brings it up, I think of that creepy guy and how he somehow managed to curse my day just by staring at me. So there really doesn't seem like there's much you can do if someone just decides to throw the stink eye at you. In Trinidad, the evil eye is called malho, from the French malheur, meaning bad eye. Malho may be passed on inadvertently, but it is said to be more severe coming from an envious person or from someone who actually wants to do you harm. It can happen if a person is stared at, especially if they're eating. Whether intended or not, compliments can cause it, as well as a parent who is overly obsessed with their child. People believe that malho can cause death, and there's a variety of types to choose from. There's the 24-hour malho that strikes quickly unless the proper help is attained. Then there is the dragging kind, in which the victim grows weaker and weaker until they finally wither and die. Bracelets made of jet are traditionally given to newborns as a protective measure, and elders also recommend securing a bag of blue dye to a baby's clothes as well. Blue soap is added to bath water and also to anoint the soles of the feet. Have you noticed the theme with the color blue? The evil eye is exactly why brides are supposed to wear something blue during their wedding, because brides have a big old evil eye target on their back. Many cultures consider compliments a big trigger. In Romania, Greece, and India, it's considered not a good idea to pay a compliment to a baby or a child in public. If you do, you may be asked to spit in the child's face to counteract a curse. Anti-evil eye symbols commonly take the form of eyes, which is a strange push and push back approach to warding off the energy. And these amulets themselves are actually called evil eyes. The most common color of these eyes is blue, because it is believed that blue eyes are the most powerful cursors, so fight fire with fire. Eye-shaped beads, stones, gems, and drawings match the evil eye's gaze, distract it, and overpower it. Once your charm is charged with the intention of deflecting, it'll bounce the evil eye off you no matter what the source, so keep it with you. If one of your beads crack, you should bury it with respect because it's said that it did its job protecting you. And then you should replace it because you obviously might need it. There are many other ways to ward off the evil eye, including creative hand gestures. Ojo de venado, or deer's eye beans, are used in Latin American magic. You can string these beans with red wool and finish off the charm with a red pom-pom. In Bangladesh, you can draw a black dot on the forehead of a child or behind the ear of an attractive woman to protect him. In Armenia and Greece, the cure is a quick pinch on the butt. So the concept of the evil eye has been around a long time and probably influences society in ways you've never even noticed. Luckily, there are many ways to ward it off and protect yourself, and you may want to second guess that humble brag next time you post on social media. I hope you've enjoyed this unsettling exploration of the evil eye. And if you like spooky, make sure to check out another project I'm involved with. It's a peculiar podcast called Odd Tonic, where we explore weird history, strange science, and the paranormal. You can find out more about Odd Tonic by visiting oddtonicsociety.com. I'll be sure to post a link in this video's description. Thanks again for visiting me in the Forest Parlor. Stay safe out there and dodge all those compliments and curses. I'll be back soon with another creepy topic to celebrate this Halloween season.